fifth place was already valued at the time of 1:12:03, WiredAnomaly. In fourth place from Branson High School at the time of 1:11:17, Adeline Johnson. In third place at the time of 1:11:48 from Camp Orlando High School, Ellie Buckley. In second place at the time of 1:11:78, and first place with a time of 1:11:05 from Montgomery High School, Hannah Thompson.
No, I wasn't expecting that. I've dropped like 17 seconds on my season best in the past 2 weeks. So after last weekend, I didn't think I could run low fives again. I would just come here and try to break 5, and I'm just glad I finished it out.
What is going on, everybody? Wired here. I hope you guys are having a terrific Tuesday. And today, once again, we have to discuss this story about a biological man, or in this case, I guess a biological boy, competing in female track. Now, this is at the high school level. This is out in, California, sorry. And there's an issue with this because this biological man, Athena Ryan, I believe the name is, got second place in the 1600 meter dash, taking away a spot from the fourth place girl, who is a biological woman. Now, I don't really blame the young person in this, Athena Ryan. I don't believe it's really their fault. I don't think it really should ever get this far where they should be able to even be able to put in this situation. I think there should be rules in place to protect women's sports. And, I know people are going to be like, well, it's because you're a transphobe. I'm not. I'm all for trans people having their own locker rooms, having their own sports teams. I've said this many, many times. I just don't like them to infringe on the rights of biological women. I'm trying to protect women's sports. I have a young daughter. She does sports. And although this is not an issue right now, it could be. This could be an issue for any young lady anywhere where they're going to get beaten out, even though they've trained their entire life to do this, because, and I know this is going to be blasphemous to some people, men have a biological advantage when it comes to sports. If they didn't, there wouldn't be an NBA and a WNBA. And if that weren't the case, there might be like one woman on like the fourth string on some team in the NBA. I mean, in all honesty, let's just be real here. But anyway, there was a lot of outrage about this from pretty much both sides of the aisle. As I'm going to play for you right now, there were protests going on. Yeah, let's take a look at that.
There's a girl not going to state
Because of what?
because of a boy. Right now,
Because
just
what?
happened.
There's a
Just
transgender
happened.
female in there that's winning.
Just went to state.
Really?
Just now.
In high school?
10 minutes ago.
Shut up. What
Took a
event?
girl spot.
What event?
1600 girls.
That is disgusting. I find that fucking offensive. It shouldn't even fucking matter. It's none of your business whether someone else does. That's offensive. You have fucking shit. I feel fucking sorry for all the sorry athletes.
What is wrong with you? Yeah, so you can see from that there are people outraged on both sides. A lot of people come out, they're completely flabbergasted that a state championship spot was taken away from, a biological woman and given to a biological man who obviously has certain advantages in this sport. There are people who are completely outraged that anyone even bring that up, and how dare they try to protect women's sports, which I guess is a side you can take. I don't really understand that, but and I do want to say this real quick because I didn't say it in the beginning. When the girls were getting up on the podiums or whatever, and there was a father or a man who was yelling "tuck in, tuck in." I find that to be very inappropriate. I'm just gonna say I don't agree with Athena Ryan participating in this event because technically they're a biological man. However, this is a child, and I don't think they're really at fault for just being a byproduct of what people are allowing. The school board has allowed this, the parents have allowed this, but there's no reason to harass the child about it. You could say, well, they should probably know better. If it was like in Leah Thomas's situation where you're like, 22, 23, competing at a collegiate level, you probably should know better. Maybe you could make the argument here for that, but this kid's probably like 16. So, like I said, I'm not defending this. I just don't think you should harass the child. I think that's very inappropriate. But let's read this article here because there's backlash from the people protesting. This, person's been feeling the heat a little bit, and apparently they've ducked out of this competition. So, trans high school athletes no-show state track championships following backlash. 2 trans female high school athletes were no-shows for their race at the California State Preliminary Track and Field Championship on Friday, a week after they clinched a spot in the elite race. Athena Ryan, who's the second place one, from Sonoma Academy, and Lorelei Barrett of Sherman Oaks Buckley opted not to participate in the scheduled girls 1600-meter run at Buchanan High in Clovis, California, according to the Los Angeles Times. Quote, the CIF is disappointed for 2 of our student athletes and their families because due to the actions of others, they found it necessary to withdraw from the state track and field championships out of concern for the students' well-being. They didn't want to be heckled or harassed. And again, I agree. They shouldn't be heckled or harassed. I don't think it should ever even be getting to this point. I don't really agree with children, transitioning, at least not with hormones or biologically before the age of 18. I don't really even, I have my own opinions on even if you should do it after 18, but just give them their own league. I don't understand what's so hard about that. If you maybe you get to do it nationwide, if you really care so much, I'm sure you could get together enough people nationwide somehow, unfortunately, to do that. But, you're going to act like people don't have a right to be outraged. People have a right to protest. They got a right to do what they want. I just don't, but I think they should come down on the parents. They should come down on the school board. The kids, I don't know. I just don't really feel like it's on the kid. They're literally participating in something that they're said they're allowed to do. And, I don't know. I don't think it's right, but I think, before you harass the kid, you should definitely, there's a whole list of people. You can harass the state, harass the government. There needs to be regulations on this. It's not the kid's fault, whether they participate or not. The CIF expressed the organization strongly denounces discriminatory or harassing behaviors. The student athletes have been subjected to and are disappointed the runners have chosen not to compete. Last week, Ryan and Barrett qualified to compete for a chance of winning states after placing in the top 3 of the girls' 1600-meter races at their respective sectional meets. Ryan, a junior, finished in second place as protests formed, calling her participation in the competition unfair to the other girls. I would 100% agree with that. She also came under fire after a runner who placed 4th was seen on video waving to the crowd before appearing to give a thumbs down. A gesture taken entirely out of context, the school told the Post. Okay. All right, I'll take your word on that, sure. Barrett, who won 3rd at the Southern Section Masters event last Saturday, was also subjected to similar pressure from the crowd, with a spectator allegedly yelling to trip her repeatedly while she ran her 1600-meter race, which can be heard on a video. Which, again, I don't really agree with. I understand why people are upset about this. I really do, especially if it's your daughter, who's, their spot's getting, even if it's not your daughter, who's getting their spot taken away. I just think there is a laundry list of people you should really be going after before going after the actual runners, because they are children. Speak with their parents, speak with the school board, speak with the state, pass legislation. There's nothing wrong with making your voice heard. I totally agree with that. I just don't harass the kids, I would say. I don't, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe I shouldn't, but the outlet asked 5 local coaches of runners who were in line to compete in Friday's 600-meter heat were asked what they felt about trans females being eligible. 3 coaches said they would support any athlete who shows up to compete regardless of how they identify. The other 2 coaches shared that they believe transgender girls should run in their own separate races. The outlet reported. 100% agree. I don't know why that would be controversial. Adults have created this problem. Okay, here we go. Adults need to fix this problem, said Oaks Christian coach Wesley Smith. There we go. 100% agree. The California Interscholastic Federation enacted its gender identity participation rules in 2013, stating all students should have the opportunity to participate in CIF athletics and activities in a manner that is consistent with their gender identity. All of our athletes, all the eligible athletes, are afforded the opportunity to compete with the gender they feel most comfortable with, Brian Seymour said. But again, that means I can just show up. I can show up tomorrow and be like, I feel like I'm a woman and I'll just compete. And then I can go back on, let's say Wednesday or Thursday to being a man, right? When the competition's over, I just go back. It's like, it reminds me of that Canadian like deadlift or something like that. He just went and just destroyed the competition because there's a trans person in there, just totally based move. But, that's kind of what you got to do. You got to call this stuff out. College swimming star Riley Gaines slammed the 2 runners for not competing, saying, "Did they realize they clearly possess an unfair advantage?" Probably, yeah. I'm sure they did. The University of Kentucky swimmer has gained notoriety for vocalizing her displeasure with transgender females competing in female biological sports since facing Penn swimmer Leah Thomas, a transgender female. Gaines tied with Thomas for 5th place in the 200-meter freestyle NCAA championships in March and was loudly criticized Thomas since then. Women are brave people, but it shouldn't take bravery to demand equal treatment. And if our leaders cannot deliver fairness to sports and athletics, then we need different leaders. Our next generation of girls deserves to see themselves as champions, not oppressors, and we all deserve a clear voice in this debate. I think Riley Gaines is very based. 100% agree with her. And I agree with this coach up here, too. That's what I've been saying. I don't think you should criticize the kids. Especially in Leah Thomas' situation, that's a little bit different. This is a grown adult here. They're 22, 23. They know what they're doing. But, a 16-year-old, maybe you can make the argument. I'd give them the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, legislation should change. Take it up with the school board. Parents, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. That's why I'm complaining about it on YouTube. But I feel like this is a good story. I feel like you got to tell this story. And I feel like I said, I'm more of a feminist than these people who clearly don't care about women's rights, which is really odd. But anyway, that's all I got. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you very much for listening this long. Later.